Hey guys, welcome to EduTap. I hope each of you is happy, healthy and fine, taking very good care of yourself. I'm your mentor Veer, and guys, this is another video focusing on the government scheme. So without wasting any time, let's get started. So guys, you might be wondering that we are launching every alternate day a video on these government scheme. So there are three questions that might come into your mind: that why a special series focusing on the government scheme, then what this series will be all about, and how we're gonna take this series forward. So guys, the first question is, or the answer to the first question is that questions worth almost 15 to 20 were asked in the phase 2 of RBI Grade B and even higher in the NABARD Grade A. That is questions worth of 25 to 35 marks. So you can see the importance of the schemes regarding our exam pattern. The number can go on the higher side as well as slightly on the lower side, but yeah, they can form a major chunk of questions in our phase 2. Moreover guys, questions can be asked in the phase 1 as well, because these schemes also forms part of general awareness. So guys, that gives answer to your first question, that is why a special series on the government scheme. Now coming to what we're gonna cover up in these series. So guys, we will cover up the schemes that have been launched in the past 1 year, considering the latest pattern and the requirement of the pattern. So the schemes that we're gonna cover up are the newly launched scheme as well as old scheme. Regarding the newly launched scheme as well as the old scheme, I want to give you an example guys. In our previous video, we covered the Vivad se Vishwas scheme that has been launched in the current financial year, and the scheme that we're going to cover up today is again Sabka Vishwas scheme, which was launched 1 year ago. But why this scheme is relevant in today's scenario, you will get to know it by the end of the session. So this give you answer to the what part of your question. Now coming to how. So when you got the answer to why and what, then how we're gonna approach these schemes. This answer, the answer to this question become easier. So guys, how you will approach the scheme? We have given certain dimensions that you need to cover up regarding the scheme, considering the latest requirement of the pattern. So guys, you need to know about the nodal ministry first, that which agency is involved regarding the implementation or launching of that scheme. Then the aim and objective of the scheme. If you analyze the phase 2 paper of RBI as well as NABARD guys, in the previous years direct question has been asked on aims as well as objectives. Then there are certain targets mentioned in the scheme. We need to cover those features mentioned in the scheme that we need to cover up, and all these are dimensions which we need to cover up. So you can refer the PPT which we will provide you over the Telegram. Moreover guys, the most important part is the current affairs. Today we are covering an older scheme which is Sabka Vishwas scheme, but it is now in news because of the current affairs. So guys, that's all about the answer to your three questions: why, what and how. Now we will start our today's video. But before starting, I would like to tell you that guys, we are offering heavy discount on our courses, especially in the RBI Grade B. We are offering 30% off. You can use the code GOV30, and in the SEBI guys, we are offering 40% discount, in which you can use the code SEBI40. So guys, don't miss out the opportunity, use it wisely. Now coming to the scheme of the day. Guys, the scheme that we're going to start today is Sabka Vishwas Legacy Dispute Resolution Scheme 2019. So this is an older scheme, but why we are covering up, you will get to know as the session proceeds. So guys, there is a special mention of the word legacy. Guys, this Sabka Vishwas scheme was launched in the previous year, considering the disputes regarding the indirect taxes, and especially within the indirect taxes, the excise tax as well as the service taxes. So because you know that GST has been implemented, so whatever the disputes regarding those taxes, that is the excise tax as well as the service tax, were pending, government has launched this scheme so that people do not have to worry and they can move on to the GST regime by resolving their legacy disputes which were due to the existing laws of that time. So guys, this is the meaning of this word legacy. The disputes that have been arrived or that have been caused due to the implementation of GST. So guys, the another important fact mentioned here is CBIC. So this scheme is though comes under the finance ministry, but the implementing agency within the finance ministry is CBIC, that is the Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs. So guys, that is about the gist of the scheme. Now coming to the introduction part. So guys, this scheme as we know launched in the previous year, but let me tell you about the background that why government has launched, though I already mentioned about the background as well a little. So guys, before the mentioning about this scheme, government told that almost 3 lakh or 3.7 lakh crore disputes were there in regard to excise and service tax litigation. So you can see how much huge amount is involved in these types of litigations. Guys, thing is, these schemes might seem to you of black and white or fair and lovely schemes, but suppose the litigation will go on for 4 to 5 years. The amount involved might be seems at less at that time, and you might be considering that no, government must go fair and charge the disputed tax as well, along with the penalties, and must penalize the person involved. But guys, thing is, if you are getting the cash today, that is way more important than when you get in the future. So government came out with these schemes every now and then. In the previous video, we have covered Vishwas scheme regarding the direct tax. In the meantime, while going with this Sabka Vishwas scheme, we will also try to recollect the points of Vishwas scheme. So guys, before the launching of this scheme, this is the amount of litigation that was involved. Moreover guys, this scheme was, we can say this the first time was named in the Union Budget of 2019. So this is about the background of the scheme, and the scheme became operational from 1st September 2019. So guys, just like our Vivad Se Vishwas scheme, this scheme was launched regarding the indirect tax, and Vivad Se Vishwas scheme that was launched in the present year was launched for direct tax. So both the schemes cover different domains, so that is the first difference. Now coming to the objectives of this scheme. Sorry guys, it is mentioned report, no, it is scheme. So through this scheme, government wants to liquidate the past disputes of central excise and service tax. You just settle your disputes with the tax authorities, and in the return the tax authorities will get the disputed amount, and you will be free of all the future litigations. You will get the immunity that no one will open up the case against you, or no one can harass you in the future regarding your disputed amount. So this is about the objective of the scheme. Moreover guys, this also gives an opportunity for voluntary disclosure. So if you feel that now now GST is implemented, I voluntarily disclose all my disputed tax amount, pay it, and get free of all the burdens or all the headaches. So what will I do? I will voluntarily disclose it. So this is another objective of this scheme, that is Sabka Vishwas scheme. Similar was the objective of this Vivad Se Vishwas scheme guys, that you settle your dispute with the tax authority. Your dispute might be pending at any of the forum, okay, but though those disputes are related with the direct tax in case of Vivad Se Vishwas, and in the indirect tax or Sabka Vishwas scheme, it is for central excise and service tax. So that is about the objective of Sabka Vishwas scheme. Now coming to the key features of the scheme guys. You know guys, due to the implementation of GST, there are already there are different laws that were prevailing regarding the indirect taxes. So the disputes that have been arising due to 28 of the previous laws which have been already subsumed under GST comes under this scheme. They are related to, and those 28 laws are related with the central excise and service taxes. Okay, we do not need to go into the much detail of all those laws guys, because that much be won't be much fruitful regarding our exam. You do not have to do all the PhDs. Okay, so just remember the number, that 28 laws which have been subsumed under the GST, and that deals with the service as well as the excise tax are covered under this scheme. Moreover guys, the appeals, or there are basically only those disputes that have been pending on or before 30th day of June 2019 will be considered for this scheme. We will talk about the eligibility in detail in the coming slide, so no worries. Just remember that all the disputes that have been pending related with the Central Excise and Services before or on 30th June 2019 were eligible for this scheme. Now guys, coming to the operational part of the scheme. This scheme became operational from 1st September 2020. So guys, similar was the pattern of Vivad Se Vishwas scheme. I hope you remember that. In the comment section, you can tell me about the start date of Vivad Se Vishwas scheme. Now guys, coming to the payment date. In the Vivad Se Vishwas scheme, there was also a payment date, and in this Sabka Vishwas scheme, the payment date is till 31st December 2019, which was later extended by the government till 30th September 2020. So basically, the scheme remained, this Sabka Vishwas scheme remained operational from 1st September till 30th June 2020 across entire India. So guys, this is one more point regarding the current affair news. This scheme was in operation till 30th June 2020. That's why this is relevant. Moreover guys, there are still updates to come, so you can relate that why this scheme we are covering a 1-year-old scheme in our today's video. So guys, the fourth point is about the full waiver of interest, penalty and fines. In the Vivad Se Vishwas scheme, we were also getting a full waiver of interest, penalty and fines, but there is a difference between Sabka Vishwas and Vivad Se Vishwas scheme, that in the Vivad Se Vishwas scheme, there was a disputed tax as well as disputed amount of penalties or interest. But in this scheme, we are only talking about the disputed tax, not about the penalties. You are getting the waiver on the penalties, but you have to disclose those penalties as well to the authorities. Okay, so that is one difference between Vivad Se Vishwas as well as Sabka Vishwas scheme, apart from the indirect tax and the direct tax difference. Okay, so guys, this is about the key features of Sabka Vishwas scheme. Now coming to the benefits that the taxpayer will get by disclosing the disputed amount. So guys, for all the cases pending in education or appeals in any of the forum, if they disclose or if if the amount involved is less than 50 lakh, they will get a benefit of but they will get a benefit of 70%. And in case of amount involved, if it is more than 50 lakh, then they will get a benefit of 50%. For example, suppose your tax liability is of 1000 rupees, then which column will you refer? That is the number 1. So only you need to pay 300. 70% will be waived off. Now guys, if your application or is not pending and all we can say your disputed amount has been, or the affiliate has been given an order before 30th June, so in that case these norms will be followed. For the cases of confirmed duty demands where no appeal is pending, that means your order has already came regarding your disputed amount, so in that case you will get a benefit of 60% for amount involved more than 50 lakh or up to 50 lakh, and if the amount involved is more than 50 lakh, the benefit of 40%. This is the amount of benefit you will get under this scheme. So guys, we have talked about the start date, then payment date, then the benefits you will get. Now we'll talk about the eligibility, that what are the cases that are eligible under this Sabka Vishwas scheme. So guys, the first is about the cases that involved in which the show cause notice has been issued before 30th day of June 2019. So this is the deadline which we need to remember, the first important point regarding our exam. Then the next is the amount in arrears. So guys, there are two cases. One, when there is a dispute between the tax authorities, or when the order has been or the amount has been cleared that you have to pay this much of the amount and you haven't paid that much of amount till 30th June. So amount in arrears means that your amount of dues has been already decided but you failed to pay on the deadline. So those cases are also involved in this case. Moreover guys, an inquiry, investigation or audit where the amount is already quantified before 30th June. Or the fourth point is when you are making a voluntary disclosure before 30th June 2019, depending on that I want to disclose my disputed amount with the authorities and want to settle the disputes with the authorities because of the GST regime. So you will disclose. So all these fours are involved. So guys, if you want to summarize these 4 points into 2 points, that either your appeal is pending before 30th or the amount is, we can say the order has been given regarding the amount of disputed tax before 30th or on 30th, that will be included in the scheme. Or the last point is if you are making a voluntary disclosure of your disputed amount. So all these points are, or all these cases are involved. Guys, we will take again these points just before our closing of session, because there is a question arising that what will the benefit a voluntary disclosure will get. Now coming to the exclusion guys, if there are inclusion within the scheme, then there will also be some exclusions. So guys, the first exclusion is for the cases that involve the fourth schedule of the Central Excise Act 1944. So guys, basically the dues related with the petroleum products or the tobacco products will excluded. If your dispute is, if your duty is disputed duty is due to the involvement in the tobacco or the petroleum products, then you will be excluded of availing the benefits under this scheme. Then if you are convicted under any of the offence under the Central Excise Act or the Finance Act 1994, then you cannot avail the benefit of this scheme, Sabka Vishwas scheme. Then the cases involving false refunds, if you have provided the false information, then you will not be eligible to avail this scheme. Then the last is the cases pending before the Settlement Commission. So guys, if your case is or if your appeal is pending before the Settlement Commission, then you cannot avail the benefit of this scheme. So guys, these are the exclusions. First is if the dues are related with the petroleum or the tobacco products, that is the fourth schedule under the Central Excise Act 1944. Then if you are convicted, if you have provided false information, or if your case is under Settlement Commission, then you cannot avail the benefits under the Sabka Vishwas scheme 2019. So guys, we have discussed about the introduction to the scheme, the objective of the scheme, then the key feature of the scheme. Now we'll take up the current affairs. So guys, before starting the current affairs, I would like to bring you back to the dimensions that we need to cover up regarding a scheme. 1 second guys. So guys, if you check out, we have already discussed about the nodal ministry in the first slide. That was, I mentioned about that it comes under the finance ministry, as well as the nodal agency involved is CBIC. We have already discussed about the objective of the scheme. We have discussed about the beneficiaries. Then we have discussed about the key features. Though we have discussed about the beneficiaries within the key features. Now guys, we have already discussed about that. Now we'll, 1 second guys. We have discussed about the nodal, objective, beneficiary, key features. Now we'll talk about the current affair. These are additional points. They might be come up in some other scheme, so do not worry. So guys, these are the dimensions that we have covered. Through this scheme, actually I want to make you aware that how we need to cover up the scheme. Key features. Now coming to the current affairs part. So guys, this scheme has gotten enthusiastic response from the taxpayers, and cases, almost 1.9 lakh cases that involves an amount of almost 90,000 application regarding settlement of those amounts were received, and almost liquidation of almost 27,000 crores has been done. That means this much amount of settlement has been done between the taxpayer as well as the tax authorities. Guys, these are the recent news. Moreover, guys, I mentioned that the scheme ended on 30th June 2020, but according to a recent notification by the government, this scheme has been given exemption for the Union Territory of Jammu Kashmir and Union Territory of Ladakh. So the taxpayer under these two territories will get the benefits under this Sabka Vishwas scheme till 31st December 2020. And these are the real recent updates, guys. I can say just few days back these recent updates have come. So guys, that's why this scheme has become crucial from our exam point of view. They can ask a question on these updates as well as on the static part that we have covered in the previous slides. So guys, that's all from my side regarding the Sabka Vishwas scheme. I tried to mix that up with sometimes with the Vivad Se Vishwas scheme that was for the direct tax and was launched in the current financial year. So guys, that's all from my side. Now there is one more point that we need to revise this scheme through some MCQs. So let's do that. So guys, the launching year of this scheme, that is Sabka Vishwas scheme, is 2019. Always remember the launching year. Then the implementing agencies, we have already discussed this multiple times. The answer is CBIC, that is the Central Board of Indirect Tax and Customs. Then the starting date of this scheme is, starting date, when I am talking about the starting date, that means since this scheme came into the operation, that is the 1st September 2019. This type of question can be asked because this is a static fact and can be asked in the phase 2 of our exam. Then the end date of the scheme, guys, when this scheme was notified, the end date was 31st December 2019. But central government extended the deadline and this scheme ended on 30th June 2020. Okay. Now the end date of scheme for the Union Territory of Ladakh and Jammu Kashmir. This is a recent update and important from exam point of view because this recent update has came up very recently, and the answer to this is 1st December 2020. So this is an exemption given to the people of Ladakh as well as Jammu Kashmir. Now guys, the revenue under the scheme as per the latest data, I already mentioned that almost 27,000 crores of liquidation has been done under this scheme. So these type of data can be asked in the phase 2 of our exam. Then the benefits under the scheme for pending appeals that involves an amount of less than 50 lakh. So there are two important points regarding this question before giving you the answer. That the benefit, we are talking about the benefit under a scheme for pending appeals. So there were two types of benefits, one for the pending appeals and one for which there was a confirmed amount of dispute. So in the pending appeals that involves an amount of less than 50 lakh, you will get a benefit of 70%. And if the amount involved is more than 40%, amount involved is more than 50 lakh, the answer is, check out guys. Yeah, better is that you will give me the answer in the comment section. So guys, now coming to the last question, that in case of confirmed duty, that the second point of our slide, the benefits for amount involved less than 50 lakh is 60%. And when the amount involved is more than 50 lakh, then the benefit is a 40%. Okay. So guys, that's all about the scheme. But yeah, there is one more question that remains for you, that is your homework. Please give the answer to this question in the comment section below. So guys, the question is the benefits available to a person for voluntary disclosure. So there were components that I mentioned in the first slide, that there is also a provision for voluntary disclosure. So what will a benefit for a person who is giving a voluntary disclosure? So this is the answer that you have to give in the comment section, guys. So guys, that's all about the Sabka Vishwas scheme 2019. That's all from my side. If you like the video, please share it with your friends. Do subscribe to our channel and do give a thumbs up. Moreover guys, for daily updates or downloading the PDF, you can check out our Telegram group, the link of which you can find in the description box. So guys, that's all from my side. I'm your mentor V, and now signing off.